Hello people on YouTube, and I am going to do an overview of the automation track in LMMS, which is Linux Multimedia, or Linux I should say, Multimedia Studio. And I'm using version 0.4.10, which I guess is the latest. At least it's the latest last time I checked. And I'm going to do an overview of automation tracks. And right now I just have a real simple default preset triple oscillator. Yeah, triple oscillator in the presets. The simple tune, the piano roll. Yeah, it's pretty generic. It's kind of like a rip off of the Hall of the Mountain King or something, but whatever. It's real simple. But I'm going to show what you can do with the automation track. So to make an automation track, you have to have an automation track. I don't know, what do you call it? It's not really an instrument, but it's like a control, or I don't know, it's like a layer almost. But you have to click in the song editor box on the track to put a box there. And you can drag it out. You don't have to do that at first, but you drag it out. And you have a box which you can drag a control in. Now, typically they show volume or panning going in this. And yes, you can drag volume. You hold down control and you drag whatever you want to control in there into the automation track channel. I guess it's a channel. So now, playing it, I have the volume, but I'm not doing anything. In order to edit the automation track, you double click it just like you would the melody on a song editor. And you get this automation track window. Now, the values here go from 0 to 200, and right now it is controlling volume. So 100% is full volume. 200 means you can overdrive the volume. So it's like double the maximum. But if you click or drag anywhere, you can draw a kind of envelope for the volume, and you have your measures up here, which is kind of nice. Sometimes it doesn't go all the way out to the last measure for whatever area you have in your automation editor. You just kind of have to click and add a little control point. So you notice at the edge of each of these steps there's a little tiny dot which is a control point, and that means you can right click to erase that control point. And if you're wondering how to change the steps for these control points, you go to the quantization amount and you can change that value. Also, hold on a sec, you can group select with this tool and draw over it, and I believe you can hit the delete key and delete all those values. It's another trick in automation editor. And if you're using the pencil tool in the automation editor, you draw one point and then you hold down the shift key and draw another point, and it'll draw a series of points in between. Just kind of nice, quick way to do envelopes in the automation editor. I'm sure you've seen other examples of this before. So now if I close this, and we listen to the volume and watch the volume dial, it goes less and less. Notice that the volume stays at the bottom until the playhead hits this track again. So if you got a song that fades off at the end, using this, you got to make sure to have an automation track at the beginning set to the starting volume, because otherwise when a song plays through, it's going to start at the very volume that it left off at, unless you have the automation track set to your starting volume. So that's like a little catch that can bite you in the butt. You got to watch out for that. But in addition to volume, of course, you can do pan. So if I were to move the volume dial back to 100%, I can double click on it and just make it 100 there. That's the easy way to do it. So instead of, if I were to delete this, I can do another, there's no control in it now. I can also hold down control, drag pan to there. And there's a preset. You notice it looks empty, but actually it's a thin line, because it only fills in the area. Well, I'll show you. There's a control point right there. You might not be able to see it too well, but if I were to drag here, see, it centers. Because certain control parameters are center orientated. So if I were to close this now, you can see that it's in the automation track. And now it pans left or right. Nothing too special. Interestingly enough, in the automation track, I'll just close this off, center it there. The automation track, as it is here, isn't dedicated to any kind of instrument or preset in here. I'll show you. I'll just control drag to make another copy of this. Put it there so it repeats. What I'm going to do is start another box, and as you see, it says drag to control. When you start a new box in an automation track, it's not locked to any parameter. Like normally, like with an instrument, you have just one instrument here, but an automation track, each box can control a separate parameter, which can be confusing when you're setting it up. I don't know why they did it this way. It might be an oversight, it might be on purpose, I don't know. But I'll show you something else you can do. Any controller, you should be able to drag into the box. So instead of this, I'm going to, by the way, I'll show you. Right now I have the instrument default preset for the triple oscillator. It is set to this channel, FX channel 1. You can grab the fader or slider or whatever you want to call it. You can grab that by holding control and dragging that. And that also works in automation track preset. As you can see, it's at 100%, I believe. But if I were to double click this, and these measures, when you do an automation track, the measure number doesn't start out at 5. It starts out at 1 from the start of the automation track box. So if you have a box at 5, it's not going to start at 5, it's going to start at 1. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be 4 measures as well. So keep that in mind whenever you start a new box in automation track. Its first measure is always going to be where that box starts. So I double click on this, and I have it go down like so. Oops, I'm holding shift, or I was holding control, not shift. There we go, that's what I want. But you get it like that. Now watch this fader as it plays along. At first it's not going to do anything, it's going to do the pan. But then in the next box, and if you can read the tiny print in there, it tells you what the box is controlling too. So, next box, I'll show you. First does the pan. No biggie. And next it moves the fader down all the way to the bottom. See how it's quiet now? If I, like I said earlier, if I start out the song, guess what? It's going to stay at that point because I have no automation track setting it back or resetting it at the very beginning. So it goes whatever this picks up at. And if this leaves off at 0 and rewinds, it doesn't go back up. So watch this. It's still quiet. But watch what happens when it hits the peak, it's going to jump back up. So that's the thing you got to watch out for when you're using automation tracks. So if you have something that fades off at the end, you want to make sure that you have an automation track setting it to the level where you want it to start out at the beginning. Just so you know. So I middle click on that to get rid of it. Oh, my mouse is jumping. Yeah, middle click on that to get rid of it. And I'm just going to double click this. Oh, come on. Or maybe I have to right click. We'll reset one, that'll do it too. There we go. We'll double clicking most things, you should be able to get the control, but maybe I'm not clicking fast. I'm going to drag this parameter now. Now it's just a control, but let's try, instead of, notice these are all dials, but even these boxes, they don't look like dials, but guess what? Hold down control and drag it. It doesn't want to scroll the screen. See, that's the problem here. You gotta have it next to it because LMMS does not automatically scroll your work area when you're dragging stuff. Hopefully they fix that in the future, but right now you gotta have things next to each other because if I were to, as you saw there, I can't just drag it and have it automatically scroll up. A lot of the software does that, nice touch. I know graphics software, but something they'll have to add to this program one of these days. But you drag that there, and see you can drag the mix from the triple oscillator into the envelope parameter. Right now it is at the middle value mix. Now we have a value between 1 and 0. And let's draw on here. Oh, why is it not wanting to let me draw? Interesting. It should work. It's not, I don't know why. Maybe it's a bug. But any parameter should work. Mix apparently is a parameter. It doesn't work. Let's try something else. Because this should work just like a dial. If I drag the box there, let's try something else. Let's try, I guess this is keyboard octave setting. So drag this back up. I need to have it whenever I can use it. So this little bar where the green dot is, see how I can move that around? I'm going to try dragging that. Now this one looks like it might work. Yeah, it gives me the full range. And yes, I can drag the octave up and down. There are 4 bars. You can see 4 bars. So now this little dot, it gives me my octave setting or my frequency range. It's like a pitch key almost, or pitch bend, sort of. But I drag that up, put that in an automation channel. So pan first, just showing you can do different things. And now it goes all crazy dragging that. See that works. Just showing you can do just about any parameter. I believe it goes to the A key, like so. And now I'm going to try, let's try doing a waveform parameter, see how that works. So one of the parameters of the waveforms from one of the oscillators, hold down control, drag that waveform, bink. Does this work? No, it's broken. Okay, they need to fix that. It should work. LFOs work these, so automation tracks should work these, but they don't. But what we can do is go from the plugin top level. You know what? It's probably the same problem with these, is like adjusting the dials on a VST, because I know VST dials do not work in here, so it's probably like the same type of problem that's preventing them from working in there as well. But VST, it just won't let you do it in here. It kind of does because it's a built-in synth, but it still has that problem. These dials might work. Well, let's see. Let's see if a course dial works. I didn't see anything, but it says something. And it's a waveform. Let's see. Yeah, it's a waveform. So, and that one works. Weird. I don't know why some of these work. Pan. We already know how pan works. Maybe I should get rid of that. Yeah, but see, that works. That works fine. Yeah, I'm running through different things, just showing you what can be automated. And I'm just going to leave that center in there. I'm just going to start it all there. We know the course dial works. Reset. Is it reset? Yeah. Just resetting all these. But some of these dials work. Those parameters, they should be automatable, but they don't work. I guess it's because the discrete steps throws it off or something. You should just have like 8 steps or 5 steps or something, but it doesn't want to work that way. I'm going to go to envelope, LFO. All of these, I believe, are automatable. So you can change your envelope. So if I were to control drag attack, and where's, yeah, it starts from the bottom. So I can increase my attack, decrease it. Now I have 8 measures. Starting from the start of the control input. So that should be 8 measures. Now let's watch the attack. That's kind of neat, right? Alright, let's clear that. Let's reset that to 0. We're going to make a new one. Also notice Some things have buttons that can be turned on or off. So let's turn on the filter, low pass. And let's set the cutoff dial. Yeah, you can hear the cutoff, and the filter is turned on. Now watch this. See the little button for a filter? I can control and drag that in there. And this does is it gives you an on-off automation track. So 1 is on, 0 is off. So I can have this on. Come on. Yeah. On, off. Boom, boom. 2 states, 2 levels, between 1 and 0. So that's a binary operator for buttons. You can actually use an automation track to do that. So right now I have the cutoff filter turned on. Once it hits the off point, it's turned off. And I believe all your dials under a cutoff filter can also be automated. So if I take the cutoff, drag it there, turn the filter on, I can increase or decrease my cutoff. And notice it has a different value for maximum cutoff. I don't know if this will kill your ears. I can't guarantee, but that's the problem with some of these. You kind of have to guess what you're doing right now. So I might suggest turning down the volume before I try this. I don't know if it will do anything funny, but it should move this cutoff dial. Okay. No, you're killing. But you never know with these filters if they'll get really loud all of a sudden. But one thing is you kind of have to guess visually about what your range parameters, because the only way you can do automation track is to draw it manually. They don't have bez zeros yet, and they don't have any buttons or way to arm a recording, so it's not like you can hit arm recording, start playing, and then record, because on a song editor, you can record while you're playing a song. So if you have this playing, and I hit a key, or actually it might be this version, if I hit a key, well, this probably isn't the best example, but it might be because these spots are filled, but a lot of times in the song editor, like a piano roll, you can edit it while it's playing, which is kind of a neat feature. But this, you have no way to do that. But I think that would be a nice feature to have in the future, have it be able to record. And you just move the dial up and down as it's playing to set the level, but right now there's no way to do that. It's like a thing I've been begging for. I'm sure other people would like this too. And I've seen it done in other software. There's like, what is it? Propeller Head software. If you have like a Windows system, you can go to rebirthmuseum.org and get the RB338 synth, and it actually lets you record all the dials and stuff. It's a totally different system than this. It's more like a looping thing, as where this is more advanced in some ways, but they let you record dials. It's kind of neat. And because the dial just has like, what is it, a value and a time event, you should only have to record when you move the dial. So if you don't move the dial, there's no points for it. So, I don't know. I'll let the programmers figure that out, but I think it's a future item everybody would like to have. But that gives you an idea. You can pretty much automate a whole lot of things. I believe you can even automate these arpeggios. Let's see. Or chords. So I'm going to delete this. And I'm going to do a blank one. I'm going to turn on arpeggio, arpeggiator, whatever you call that device. And I'm going to move its range up a notch. And this whole box here, right now it's the type of arpeggio. If you click on it, it gives you a whole bunch. Go back to octave. And I'm going to control and drag. And yes, it sets the arpeggio chord type or whatever. And there's 88 of them. So let's see what the heck happens here. This is going to sound weird as hell. You can do steps. And Yeah, you can do each step. And it'll change between the different chord types. Now watch this. And it's jumping between, yep. But yeah, you get an idea. So pretty much almost anything can be put in an automation track, and it will go to the melody that you attach it to, or any instrument that's attached to a certain melody. And I believe if you want to have an automation track that loops with every single repeat, you can put an automation track under the beat editor. And that will continuously repeat along with the beat that's in the beat loop. But I'm not going to go into that. You probably understand how that works. But any instrument or something, just about all its properties can be automated. Automation isn't set by the track, but rather by these little event boxes, or controllers within a track. So you can put them on different things. Just remember, like, you roll all the way back to the beginning of the song, whatever state was the last state is where it's going to be at the beginning. Things like that. But there you go, that's automation tracks in LMMS. So now you know.